Yeah. Definitely be something to look at. I'll definitely have a look at that after the stream and see if we can do something. Have you not heard anything from either of the other guys?
No. I'm just now busy either playing something.
Fair enough.
I can have a look at my friend list if you need the fourth, or we can just, if you want to make the public, and just find someone. I don't know.
It's up to you. Don't mind. Either way. I'd rather have someone on there, you know.
Let me see if anyone's online.
If you can, maybe invite one of your less experienced friends, so I look a bit better.
Well, so Tim doesn't spend so much time on the floor.
That's going to happen anyway. Okay, while you're doing that, I shall keep the stream going. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully we're all live. I think we're all good. If you can hear me okay in the
Well, I sent an
stream,
invite. We'll see if it works.
then yeah, just give me a boom in the chat, and hopefully we're all good to go. Boom, excellent. Perry can hear us. Good evening, Perry, or afternoon, where you are. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Goober's in the chat as well. Hello, haven't played the multiplayer in like 10 years. Well, you're in for an experience today. Hope you're having a good weekend. Nice to see you. We currently got 3 of us here. We're looking for a 4th one. Curtis is there. How you doing, Curtis? Nice to see you. Perry's not having a nice weekend. Why not having a nice weekend, Perry? What's going on?
It's just extending an invite. To Goomer, I mean, just in case.
Well, Ploppy, I can't obviously see the chat right now, but just, I don't know if it's anything the chat would be interested in. I have every class unlocked. If there's any character anyone wants to see, I can do it. I don't know if that's something anyone would be interested in.
I'm not quite sure if the chat can hear you. Actually, they should be able to hear that. So yeah, but if you didn't hear that, the Cerberus guy's got everybody unlocked. If there's anybody that you'd like to see, pop it in the chat now. Perry's leaving to attend the grandfather's funeral tomorrow. I'm so sorry to hear that, Perry.
Yeah, looks like they can hear.
Curtis
I
says yes.
sadly only have one stream. Or, sorry, one monitor. So I can't see anything, but if there's any character anyone wants to see, I can do it.
Well, I think what we'll do is open this up to a public slot for the last one. Nico's in there. How you doing, Nico? Paris is the Quarian Marksman. Service guy.
I can do a Quarian. That's the soldier one, right? There's 2 marksmen, I think.
Ooh.
I'm using the Infiltrator at the moment. Is that the Marksman?
Well, there's a Quarian. There's a male Quarian marksman that's a soldier, and then I think there's a female Quarian marksman that's an infiltrator.
Paris says yes. I guess that's to your first question.
The male soldier.
Nico, how you doing? I'm doing good. Thank you very much, Nico. How are you? You having a good weekend?
It's going to be quite unusual, two Quarians fighting with a Geth, isn't it?
Well, especially because, like, I, no one get too mad at me, but I always side. If I can't make peace, I always side with the guy.
Yeah, I always just try to make peace because I can't bear
I
to
do.
watch what happens
See, I always make
when you
peace,
side with a Geth.
and then I hit the destroy button, the ending. So kind of mute, but
Okay,
there you go. I have a
That's
greeting
kind of-
to you and all the chat. Nice to see you, Evo.
The whole, like, what happens to the synthetics is probably part of the reason why I choose control.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the control ending just makes the most sense. I mean, shooting the kid kills everyone. The destroy ending kills Edie and the Geth, who are like two of the best. Well, Edie's awesome, and the Geth have never done. Not counting the heretics, the Geth are fine. And while I personally think the synthesis ending is like the best on paper, I just can't justify forcing that change on so many people. I mean, I just think the control ending leaves everything as is, and then as long as your shepherd's not a dick, everything is fine.
And also, even if the heretics still follow the Reapers, if the Reapers are being controlled by Shepherd, then all the Geth are essentially following Shepherd, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Perry says that it's restart a playthrough if you can't make peace. So far, I've never had to go that far. That is some because you've got to do stuff in Mass Effect 2 in order to achieve peace. So if you get as far as Mass Effect 3 and realise you can't do it, that's a lot of gameplay you've got to replay.
A tactically significant area has been located. We have hostile forces.
But did you know?
We're at this, yeah.
Area. We need it locked down.
I only found this out yesterday, I think it was, that if you've got a low EMS score and you pick control, then Edie gets destroyed, but you won't get her name put on the wall because it's only her body that's been destroyed and not her actual systems.
So technically she's still alive then?
Yeah, in the control ending.
I suppose she just kind of reverted back to Mass Effect 2 ED then.
Squad member has flatlined.
Yeah. Jumpy Popcorn's in the chat. How are you doing, Jumpy? It's weird to argue that synthesis is... Oh, I can't multitask. Hold on a second. Let me go and hide behind somewhere. It's weird to argue that synthesis is having control over the galaxy, but genocide is somehow okay. It's a very good point, actually. No need to apologise. You're right on time. Nico, I once chose to save the Geth over the Quarians just because I was curious, and it was very tough.
Here they come.
People
How
seem to
anyone can
forget. Sorry, go ahead, Supersky.
Sorry, no, like, finish your thought.
It just amazes me when people say, "Oh, you know, I'd rather save the Geth over the Quarians." Is that they seem to forget that half of them sided with the Reaper and you know decided to murder a load of colonists on East Prime and try and usher in the complete destruction of the galaxy.
Well, to be fair, a lot of them only sided with the Reapers because the Quarians are trying to kill them. I mean, I think I was in the same boat as you most of the time. Especially in Mass Effect 1, but I just don't get how anyone can do the mission on the Geth consensus and come out of that thinking the Geth are bad and the Quarians are good.
I didn't necessarily say that the Quarries were good, but I can understand their plight. You know, at the end of the day, they created these things that are now, you know, taking over the planet, and all they did was try to turn them off. That wasn't a very good argument.
Yeah, but there are also things that the Geth also let the Quarians live, because like Legion said, they couldn't justify killing an entire race. They wanted peace to try to be a thing.
And the Geth didn't want to take over the planet. It was more about just fighting for their lives.
Gaming Wiz, is that Legendary Edition or the original? This is the original. Multiplayer is not currently on the Legendary Edition.
I'm just saying, like, it might just be me personally, but everything that happens in the game, like, as far as the Quarians and the Geth go, like, the Geth always seem to be kind of open to peace, whereas the Quarians are all, like, Admiral Geralt shoots on a ship while you're on board. I mean, like, they just want war.
Not all of them make war, though.
So, yeah.
The way I see it as well is, you know, even in the case of humanity, like, we fought over religion before, and the Geth kind of see the Reapers as gods, don't they?
Well, at least the heretics do.
Yeah, but I just mean they're kind of fighting over religion like we do.
Oh, I know. Like, I think the best line in the entire franchise is the cop on Samara's recruitment mission on Ilium in Mass Effect 2, where she's like, what do humans know about you? You can't even figure out your own religions.
Paris says she's willing to make that sacrifice of restart. What's going on already? Is willing to make the sacrifice of restarting from Mass Effect 2 if peace is not possible. What's we got here?
I'm being a terrible medic today, aren't I?
I'm trying to multitask as well, to be fair. Curtis says he wants to be safe. I'll save Edie on Mass Effect 3 at the end. So what should I pick to keep Edie for the ending?
Anything but destroy.
Paris says, to be fair, Saren sided with the Reapers and no one says the Turians needed to be wiped out. And that's in regards to the Geth.
I always viewed Saren as, if anyone else has played Dragon Age Origins, I always viewed Saren as Loghain. Like, Loghain's kind of a bad guy, but when you really understand what he was doing, I find it hard to be mad at him.
See, I find it easier to understand Loghain than I do Saren.
See, Saren, he blamed humans for the death of his brother, but if you actually read the comics, it was he killed his own brother in order to save, the Turians.
Yeah, well, I don't know how deep into spoilers you want to get, but I have my own opinions on Desolace. I don't want to ruin anything for your chat, too. None of them have read the comics or novels yet.
Yeah, if you're talking about a novel other than the one with Saren and Anderson, I'd rather not hear it, because I do want to get around to reading them.
Okay, shutting up.
Gaming Wiz. Legion gave me a new perspective of the Geth, which is fair. That's exactly what he was designed to do, wasn't it? Really. The only Geths you've ever met in the game up until that point have wanted you dead.
Thank you.
No worries.
Not like me.
Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, Tim, I had to choose.
No worries. There's quite a bit of chat going on anyway, so I'll catch up with some of that. Our Game Wiz says he owns them both, he's just not been on since the day one download.
I always make Tally use the Geth shotgun in Mass Effect 3 because I appreciate irony.
I've always had her as a shotgun person as well. No, see, Perry wants to hear your opinions on the books. Orsar's here in the house. How you doing, Orsar? If you want to play, we've got a free spot.
If people in the chat want to hear your opinion on the books, I'm fine with you giving spoilers. I just meant that, you know, if... I don't know. It's going to be a while before I read them anyway.
Enemies down. Good shooting. Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
Okay, what I'll do is I shall...
Enemy force approaching.
We'll make a poll. How's that? We'll do a poll. I'm sorry, I'm probably going to die. I'm actually going to hide somewhere. Can't type and shoot at the same time.
Squad member down. Only one more enemy.
Or the...
Top marks, team.
You know, I watched a video recently
Strength.
that basically said that in terms of EA's sales on games, Mass Effect Legendary Edition was only second in its list of highest sales something, or highest profits or something, next to Apex Legends.
Anything but destroy. Oh, Curtis says anything but
Can
destroy.
you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yep.
Curtis says, thanks for the tip there, Cerberus Guy. Anything but destroy. He'll be picking for saving Edie on his next run. Lavender Sky is Mr. Spencer. How are you doing, Mr. Spencer? Nice to see you. Mr. Spencer is part of the Resident Evil podcast. So any Resident Evil fans, make sure you head over to visit them, because they do awesome work on Resident Evil. Good to see you. Wanted to say I've picked up Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Been about a decade since I last played the trilogy, so it's a nostalgia trip.
You guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Alright, that was weird. I just got kicked for some reason. But alright, I'm back, I guess.
I don't know what's going on with those permissions, but above alert. Unless that's more of a connection issue.
Again, with Mass Effect titles are definitely the breadwinners. Well, in latest news, the Mass Effect 4 is looking like it's going to be used for on the Unreal engine rather than the Frostbite engine. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm quite glad that, because it might also mean that the new game will be moddable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it's mostly just the Frostbite engine was designed pretty much specifically for Battlefield, not third-person shooters. That was the biggest deal with Anthem, as I recall.
Oh yeah, didn't they say something about how in that interview you did, Tim, where essentially the original games weren't designed to be modded or something in consoles?
No, it's more of a case of... Oh, hello, you're down.
Thank you.
So am I.
Oh,
That didn't go well.
oh, I got stepped on.
Squad member needs help.
We're all down.
Team member has gone
Come on.
Squad member in trouble.
Oh no, we didn't get to him. So in the interview with Audimus, he was saying consoles that would never, it would have to be already planned to get modded. It's not something that they can do afterwards, and so how do you describe it? It says that you've got to work with the modders in the first instance. I don't quite know how Bethesda do it.
I thought you said it's something to do with Unreal Engine 3 or something.
For God's sake. Floor simulator with Tim. Well, you should know by now what to expect, really. Hello.
Enemy is down to one. Sweet. Well done. Enemy is regrouping.
I would like to see a Revelation and
Force approaching.
Redemption. We've had 8 votes on the poll, by the way, and so far it's an 88% majority that would like to hear your thoughts on the books with the spoilers, Cerberus guy.
I don't want to piss anyone off if someone's planning. I think Izzy said he wanted to read the books and didn't want spoilers. I don't want to make anyone upset.
Fair enough. Because if they bring mods to the console, that would be amazing. I think they should. I think they should go down the same route as what the... I can never pronounce it
This
properly,
character
especially
is useless.
for a beer. Bethesda has done with
Squad member offline.
Okay, so it might work if they take the time for multiplayer from the Xbox. Lavender Skies, the Skyrim mods on the console worked out well. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what they should do with Mass Effect. Because some of the mods I've been playing for in the original Mass Effect 3 really do enhance the game. I mean, I don't go for the silly ones where you can have Thomas the Tank Engines falling from the sky and stuff like that, but
Thank you.
just ones that add more people to the areas, or you know, you can change your clothing, you know, more
Sensors tell me only one left.
costume changes, or there's little things like animated advertisements that tie into Andromeda. All little things like that just build the world up a lot more.
Stay alert.
I don't know. I mean, seeing Thomas the Tank Engine as a Reaper seems pretty tempting.
Enemies approaching.
I mean, well, Thomas the Tank Engine's quite possibly the scariest thing in the world. Because I already saw him as Mr. X in Resident Evil 2.
Watch out, here come the Skyrim players.
But you see, the problem with Skyrim is just, that's what Bethesda does now, is they'll release a game and then just rely on the modders to fix it for them.
There is that, I suppose. Oh, for goodness sake.
Squad member down. Squad member needs help.
Also says Andromeda was a frostbite. Yes, it was. Had some loading issues.
Gone dark. Squad member down.
Damn it.
I am out of Metagel. This character is so rubbish.
Mission failed. Returning to base.
Oh, all the way to the rank 9. Macho Man Shepherd mod. He just runs around going, "Oh yeah!" The Unreal
I think
5
just even
engine
in
is
the-
great, apparently.
I can't believe how awful that character is. Like, he had the worst moveset of any character I've ever played.
Right.
I think I'll switch things up and go with a Solarian Infiltrator.
Could you invite me now?
Yeah, I'm just trying to kick this guy. Do we all have to kick him?
Oh, hang on. I think maybe there's a voting system.
Yeah, there we go. Alright. So, it's also
Well, if
organized.
there's anyone the chat wants to see as far as characters go, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to be my default easy path.
We should go for different character physiques. Really like to play a Sentinel that's just built like a tank, like a really big. I suppose what a bit like the Star Wars, the Old Republic, where you can have like a proper small, skinny person or a massive, built like a tank. Oh, Perry says marksman, tactical scan plus a good headshot weapon. So I'll be sure to put the spectator mode onto Cerberus guy when I'm dead.
That's just what I did, and I got my ass kicked.
Lavender Sky says, I love the kick-shock harpoon gun. And Curtis wants to play me to play as Edie, so I'll play
I
as
have
Edie.
a whole bunch of Batarians that use that sniper rifle.
Infiltrator. There we go. I like playing as Edie. I know what I'm doing with her. Perry says, how about Turian Sentinel?
I can do a Turian Sentinel.
I think just
Oh,
for the
he's
custom,
purple.
He's purple?
Oh yeah, there's characters I like rarely ever use. I just apparently I made my Turian Sentinel purple.
Purple, it's an awesome colour.
Okay then.
This location has been overrun. We have hostile
Oh, I didn't even just think to check the weapons I've got.
locked down.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on these ones. Lavender Skies says a Batarian soldier for the next round if possible. Gamer Wiz loves this stage. This is the Solarian stage, isn't it? Solarian level.
Seems appropriate that in Solarian.
Thank you.
No worries. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
I'm reading only one more
Exact.
left. Mission accomplished.
Red versus blue. Why can't we come together and make a little purple?
Here they come.
Red, blue make orange.
I'm pretty sure red and blue make purple.
Is it bad that I still don't know how to mix what color makes what when you mix them together?
I'm the same. Oh no, that's all stuff. Doesn't help that you picked a Geth as a character. I'm trying to shoot you.
Not all Geth are bad, Tim.
Red and yellow make orange.
Yeah,
Thanks, Perry.
we know you hate to guess, but we promise some of them are good.
I love that this Solarian Infiltrator has an ability that just brings down shields.
All clear. Good work. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload.
I'm not being racist to the Geth.
We've got a drone downed in the area. Good drone position data.
Guess lives matter.
Yeah, I think the problem is Tim doesn't see the Geth as a race to begin with.
Why don't he quite often talks about them as like being his vacuum cleaner.
That's what they started out as.
Yeah, but if your vacuum cleaner got to the point where it gained sentience, I mean, like you would treat it with more respect, wouldn't you?
I'd be a bit worried if my vacuum cleaner started saying, no, I don't want to hoover your floors. You know, vacuum your floor. So I'll think,
Yeah,
well,
well, if your vacuum cleaner demonstrated the ability that it could do things beyond cleaning your floor, wouldn't you give it a chance?
but that's what it's created for. It's created to vacuum my floor. So of course I would then try to turn it off.
Yeah, but I mean, you're then denying it the ability to do more than just clean your floor.
But I only want it to clean my floor. It's a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, well, wouldn't most people view... I mean, if my vacuum cleaner suddenly could do so much more than clean my floor, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily hold that against it.
But it doesn't want to do anything more than clean your floor. It just doesn't want to clean your floor.
Yeah, but because it gained... It would be like... It's like... You said you played, you said you... the Old Republic, right? It's like...
Yeah.
There's several characters you can interact with as a Sith who start out as slaves, but
Yeah.
they can do so much more, so you don't hold that against them. You're like, oh, you can serve the Empire in this way. Just because you were born a slave doesn't mean you have to stay a slave.
You see, but if you're playing as Sith, then you treat them as slaves, wouldn't you?
Not if I can use them for a better purpose. I mean, it's similar. It's akin to like if you had a simple car with a fancy engine. I mean,
Yeah.
you,
And
it
then
would
my
make
car
your car
decided
better.
it didn't want to be a car anymore. It's the same.
Well,
And we
what
would
if
live in a world of Transformers and I'd be happy.
What if your car just wanted respect?
It had respect. It had a very nice place where we could live in a cupboard under the stairs, and it would it do what I ask it to.
Sorry.
But the car doesn't get to decide when it has a break.
That's it. doesn't need a brake. It's a car. It's a machine. Oh,
Yeah, but
no, that is you.
I'm just
And
saying
then-
we've been trying for so long to make machines that have feelings, and then the second we have a machine that has feelings, we're like, oh my god, that's terrible. We got to take its feelings away. I mean, it just seems counterintuitive.
Europeans in the olden days called their slaves a vacuum cleaner.
Thank you.
Outstanding work. Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
I can see
I mean,
where
like,
the
if you went,
Force approaching.
if you went outside one morning and you drove your car wherever, and while you were driving, your car's like, oh, by the way, I can do your taxes. Would you think that was a bad thing?
No, but if the car just stopped in the middle of the highway and said, I'm not going to drive anymore, you'd be like, why? You're a car. You'd be like, I don't want to be a car. I want to be a philosopher. You'd be
But the
like,
Geth never woke up and said they didn't want to help the Quarians. They just said, what is life? They said, what is a soul or something, didn't they?
Well, exactly. The Quarians were the ones who react. I mean, if you want to argue how the Quarians reacted, whether it was over the top or not, that's completely separate from whether or not the Geth are things.
oh, hello.
The Geth are people. It's-
I'm yearning for the British Empire. That's long gone. Curtis says, my car wants to be a truck. There you go, Perry. Oh.
Team member is hurt.
So it's only bad if it's an inconvenience to me. The way I see it is that if my car or my vacuum cleaner or it decided it didn't want to do what it was intended to do, I naturally would try and turn it off.
Forces at half strength.
If it then kicked me out and made me live in my shed or my garage
On drone with enemy fleet intel.
and say,
In this area.
you're not living in the house anymore,
First objective down. Now keep
I
close to
run the
the
house, then yes, I can completely understand why they would then try to take back their house.
But the Geth didn't kick the Quarians off the world. The Geth
Yeah.
fought for their lives, and the Quarians consequently left.
Yeah, the Geth never did. The Geth never acted in violence. They were just trying to survive. I mean, like, if your vacuum, it would be one thing if your vacuum cleaner just tried to kill you, but you're forgetting the part where you tried to destroy your vacuum cleaner before it tried to kill you.
Seems a bit strange someone would just randomly start fighting their vacuum cleaner though.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll
Fair enough. Thank you.
New Mortal Kombat spin-off is wild.
We've got a winner. Good one, team.
well, I am teaming up with Mother Mantis to do a video on exactly this topic. So, yeah, that should be one to get people talking.
Well done, team.
Fabian, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Fabian, Lavender Sky is in the chat, and both of you are big Resident Evil fans. Although, I think Lavender Sky is, or Mr. Spencer, is more into the Mass Effect at the minute. Hey, why do these streams always go back? They do at the minute, don't they? Let's move on from here. The actual topic for conversation tonight was characters you hate. So, guess aside. Oh, goodness sake. I'm quick enough on the button there.
Yeah, for God's sake, no one say Legion.
Yeah, so Legion and the guess aside. Which characters are you not keen on?
Admiral Garrel. I feel like that's a no-brainer, but I really hate that guy.
They're the one that you punch him in the gut.
Yeah, exactly that one.
Thank you.
I'd probably go with Erdnot Reeves.
Can I say Anderson, or will people
No, you
yell
can
at
say
me?
Anderson. I'm still working on that script for that video.
Sensors tell me only one left.
Might need your help with it actually, for the book
That's
side of it.
Also, does
Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
does anyone else find it weird how in Mass Effect 2 they make Chorus out to be the worst person ever, whereas Geralt's a decent person, and then in Mass Effect 3 they make Geralt out to be an ass, but Chorus is kind of the nice guy?
Chorus?
I mean, it's supposedly made to fit the narrative between the, Shepard's internal change between the games, where in the second game he's still used to fighting and doesn't really like them.
Perry says Aria. Why is that, Perry? Nico is Jacob, Reeve, and I hate Kai Lang. Oh, fighting talk there, Cerberus guy.
Do you know I owned Mass Effect 2 for like 3 years before I realized Arya was voiced by Trinity from The Matrix?
Yeah, I've got no chance of getting her on for an interview. What I really liked was that... Oh, what's the guy from Mass Effect 1 that dies in Mass Effect 2's beginning? What's his name?
Presley?
Presley, that's it. He's voiced by...
Yeah, he was Reg Barkley from
Yeah.
Star Trek.
from Star Trek and more importantly, the A-Team. 1980s TV show, The A-Team.
The what now?
Ah, you're all too young.
I'm joking. I've heard of it. I haven't actually seen it.
It's like quality classic British TV Saturday afternoon essential viewing. The A-Team followed by Knight Rider.
I believe I watched one of the films when I was younger. I don't think I watched the show though.
Ah, no, the films are no good. You need to watch the show.
Outstanding work.
All clear.
Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping.
Presley, thank you, Game Wiz. That was the guy. Perry says she hates Arya because she's an Asari, she's boring, and 3, I didn't want to pick a character that was designed to be unlikable. I'm actually quite surprised that nobody has said Ashley so far.
Or Udina.
Team member offline.
Oh, Dina's
Yeah,
not that bad.
I mean,
Oh, don't.
Squad member has flatlined. Squad member offline.
Oh, it's just going crazy.
Squad member in trouble.
Get to cover. I probably should do it, I shouldn't I? Running around in the open. It's no wonder I'm always on the floor.
yeah, to what Nico said about Ashley, I'm kind of on the fence about her. Like, I'm a bit biased because she was my first romance when I played the game.
Good shooting. Enemy is regrouping.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm always kind of hesitant to romance aliens when it's my first time playing that game.
And to be fair to Ashley, she does do quite a bit of growing throughout the games.
Her rank is quite odd though, isn't it? Her military rank.
How do you mean?
Well, she starts off like in Mass Effect as a gunnery sergeant,
We need that target taken out.
but then by Mass Effect 3 she's a lieutenant commander, which is
I
it's
can't remember what she is.
She's a lieutenant commander in the third game.
We marked the new target.
But I suppose we could have like a career change. Isn't like gunnery chief? It's a completely different, like a completely different military direction. Technically, she shouldn't be able to be a lieutenant commander. It's not down her career path, sort of thing.
Target is still active. Get going. Target is down.
I'm not sure, I've not been too familiar with the ranking system.
Thank you.
Target is priority. Take him out.
She's a lower ranked than Kate, but she still does progress quite a bit from the first game to the third one.
Hi Gabriel, nice to see you. I'm good, thank you. How are you? You having a good weekend?
Team member is hurt.
Oh, wrong button.
Targets accounted for.
This was playing all week. The new game. Bless Unleash. If you've heard of it. No, I've not heard of that one. Do you mind? Thank you.
Some fine work, team.
Area clear.
Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping. Rendezvous at LZ for extraction.
Nico says Ashley isn't my favourite character, but I don't dislike her.
Shield gone.
I do kind of. I know this isn't entirely related to the topic today, but I was just thinking, it's a shame we didn't see more Yarg in the games.
Yeah, there's only the one, wasn't there? Oh no, two.
Yeah.
There was two.
Yeah, there was one who kind of appeared briefly, wasn't there, in the third
Yeah.
game?
Squad member has flatlined.
Need assist.
I mean, that was quite a funny line from whoever you're with. If Liara's in your team,
Approaching LZ. Get moving.
you get the watch out! There goes the next Shadow Broker.
Not funny.
Uh-oh.
Shuttle's here. You've got to move, soldier. Mission complete. Outstanding work.
Hold on.
Nice. Yeah, a co-op story in Mass Effect would be pretty awesome, actually.
See, I'm not too keen on co-op games, mainly because I don't have people to play with. But as if it was something like a drop-in, drop-out, would be alright, I suppose.
Yeah, just kind of like a optional thing similar to Halo, I guess.
Yeah. Time, we got enough time for another one, haven't we?
I think I'll be one of my Cerberus. Yeah.
I think I'll stick with the Solarian Infiltrator. I quite like him.
Unless there's anyone else the chat wants to see, I'll be a Cerberus person now.
Striker assault rifle. Let's try this out. Possibly, I suppose.
I'm not entirely sure how co-op would work with Mass Effect, though, and the whole choice system.
Yeah,
I'm sure
imagine it's just like Star Wars The Old Republic where you just roll dice for who gets to answer.
Well, there's worse games I've played.
I'd hate to be like in co-op when it's like a major decision, you know, like the Genophage or the battle on
Yeah, can you
Rannoch.
imagine? Somebody drops in
Objective has been compromised.
to your game and then completely messes up your.
Before you know it,
Your
Charlie's
story.
dead.
Imagine you have 3 people who meet the requirements for peace, and you have the one guy who actually has to make a decision, and then his role passes.
Oh, you'd be so mad, wouldn't you?
Would you really be mad though? Because I mean, like, you're just assuming. I mean, if you're playing single player, you still have squad mates. You're just not counting what they think. Like, what happens? Like, say if you bring James and James is like, yeah, I don't like the Geth or I don't like the core games. Just supersede you.
I outrank him, and he does whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, but I mean, you might outrank him, but in the heat of the moment, he might make a decision for you.
Team member is hurt.
Here's a question: with Shepard God at the end of 3, who's in charge of the Normandy? Like, who would be the next acting leader of the group?
I don't think does Shepard even. Shepard doesn't really have an XO in the 3rd game.
Well, he does if you have the expanded galaxy mod. What the hell?
Who's that, Miranda?
Is it Mess Sergeant Gardner?
I would be completely fine leaving the Normandy in control of Gardner's hands.
Yeah, he seems to be a reasonable guy.
He washes his hands most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he cleans the toilets and he makes food. I mean, like, he does everything.
He does wash his hands.
In Normandy. Wait a minute, that's Edie.
I mean, does Garrus have a rank?
Mass Effect 2 is with
Garrus
Miranda.
does the normal.
Sorry. Gabriel says XO for Mass Effect 2 would be Miranda, which I think
Sorry, I
she is
can't
anyway.
res you. It's too laggy.
Okay. I think the problem for me is Garrus doesn't normally survive my Mass Effect victories.
Is that intentional? Or?
Usually for story purposes, it's intentional. I like him as a person, but I find the 3rd game's more interesting without him. That might just I know that's a personal thing, and I'm probably gonna get yelled at. But
I've never had him killed.
I suppose for story purposes, losing someone close to you in the suicide mission can be impactful. So I do get that.
my first time playing, I lost him because I sent him in the vents just because I remembered in the first game he was the 2nd best tech person out of Tally, so I thought he'd have a decent shot of doing it, but he doesn't.
Yeah, honestly, the first time I played Mass Effect 2, I was so careful. I was just so glad that I kept the main crew, the main team alive.
The first time I played it, I kept everyone alive, and I was actually really chuffed because I didn't look at any guides or you know, I just used my crew to what I thought with the best suited positions, and it turned out all right.
Team member offline.
Yeah, it does kind of guide you by giving you descriptions of the crewmates, though.
Nico says Shepard's XO would be Trainer or Edie. for Mass Effect 3. I think officially it's supposed to be Liara, isn't it?
Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload.
She
Well,
takes-
Liara's the Shadow Broker. She can just do what she wants.
As in regards to taking over the ship after you die, I would say that'd be the Vermeer survivor, because they're the next Spectre, aren't they?
Assuming they survive the coup attempt.
Yeah, and you know,
That's
you
true.
don't send them to hack it as well.
Also, I think strictly Garrus would outrank Shepard in Mass Effect 3. It's just they're in different militaries.
Yeah, Garrus does have like a military rank, doesn't he, in the third game?
Yeah, he's an advisor and like a general calls him Sir, so I think that's above a commander.
Well, you also have to remember too that technically Shepard doesn't have a rank in 2, because in Mass Effect 2 you become an air quote terrorist.
Very true, yeah. Unless
Yeah,
you...
in 2, but he dies after 3. And
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
3 he gets reinstated anyways.
Unless you accept your Spectre status back. Which I never do. I never...
Refusing the Spectre status is the best part of the second game.
I mean, the Spectre status doesn't really help you in any instance anyway, does it?
No.
Yeah, I really
No.
feel that was a missed opportunity. The only thing it does is change a couple dialogue options, but you can still do everything regardless.
It was more of a mechanic for Mass Effect 1, wasn't it, really? So it'd give you an excuse to command a ship, and even though you're not a captain.
Old Stale says, to be fair, you can't really outrank Spectres, as he answered directly to the Council, so... Yeah, I mean... Vermeer Spy was probably the next in command.
Thank you.
I suppose we're now just acting under the assumption that both of them, my survivors, are dead.
Then who even is alive?
The old style
Oh,
gamer
Garrus.
says that they love Miranda, but they dislike Jack. I've never actually heard anybody say they don't like Jack. I thought she was quite a fan
Really?
favourite.
I don't like Jack either.
Yeah,
I love Jack.
I like Jack. I don't like her design. I didn't think there was any need for her to be wearing just a couple of belts, but apart from that, her character overall I quite like.
Enemies inbound.
Yeah, can you imagine she walks into that prison and they just tell her to take everything off and put belts on? Like...
I think the little Easter egg they hid in her tattoos is pretty cool though.
Oh, come on, I pushed the button in time then. Gable likes Jack as well. Every time has accepted to the council Spectre status back to just to keep them on. Oh, where is everybody? I'm too busy reading the chat, look, and everyone's dying on me.
Finally my shit works again.
And he says after the Citadel standoff, expect to let the Vermeer survivor to be a war asset, or should I let him or her return to the Normandy? I would always say return to the Normandy.
Does the Vermeer Survivor become a war asset then if they don't join the Normandy?
Yeah,
Yeah, 25 points.
But obviously you get more story beats and you get more interaction with them if you bring them to.
I just think it's really disappointing how few squad mates there are in Mass Effect 3.
Well, they cut that down because people complained that there were too many in Mass Effect 2.
I thought it was mostly because they have to account for so many different variations of companions, depending on who plays in Mass Effect 2.
I was disappointed that most of the crew from Mass Effect 2 couldn't come back and join you.
I just always felt bad, like, especially like me being someone who likes Jack, or if you like Miranda. Like, it's kind of disappointing in the third game that if you stay with Jack or Miranda, there's like the romance. Like, you can talk to them over the radio, but there's not really a romance scene outside of the Citadel DLC. It's like it's almost like the game punishes you for trying to stay with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the rush development, there's only so much they could do, really, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, my abilities work now, but my weapons still don't.
Thank you. Oh, there was an Atlas behind me.
Ah.
Team member offline.
Hey, Sven's in the chat. How you doing, Sven? Yeah, I'm good, thank you very much. Sorry if you die because of me. When you drink, I talk a lot. Don't worry about it. I try to multitask, and even if I didn't, I'd still end up dying anyway.
Mission accomplished. They're down to 50% capability. Enemy data siphons operational planet side. Your mission is to find and disable the targets. Device down.
How are you doing, Sven?
Tower disabled. Keep going.
Assuming you heard that.
Oh, I stood right next to him, look.
Target down.
Sven's character that he hates most. Myself, after choosing the ending. Make a decision for the whole galaxy with no one having a say in it but me.
Actually, does the Catalyst count as a character?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
There's been some really interesting conversations around that that kid at the very start of Mass Effect 3, whether he's alive or not. I put a poll out, just something that interested me, what people thought. And
I still think it would have been a lot cooler if Shepard's PTSD was like he was roaming around the SR-1 Normandy wreckage or something.
yeah, that would have been a lot better.
Because that's also like associated with the loss of, you know, the SR-1 crew.
I don't know if I'm the only person, but I quite liked the dream/nightmare sequences in the third game. I thought they were pretty well done.
I thought it was good to show that, you know, Shepard had some kind of... It had a mental effect on him, all the fighting and everything.
Which character... Curtis wants to know which character I hate the most. Oh, I'm getting boxed in here, look. Run away, run away. Now I'm right next to a gun thing. It's a good question, actually. Which character do I hate the most?
Team member has gone dark.
Thank you.
Squad member in trouble.
No worries.
God, I hate turrets.
You know, I don't actually know. Can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I actually go, oh, I hate this guy.
Squad member in trouble.
You could say that
How about
Shepard's
that?
clone is more easy.
Thank you.
How about that random politician that hates humans in Thane's loyalty mission?
Oh, Joram to lead?
I think that's his name.
Yeah. If anything, the human in that mission is more annoying.
They're both bastards.
Especially if you watch the video on the Shadow Broker base of him running someone over and not even caring.
Was he the one that's asking you for drugs?
No, that's in Mass Effect 1 at the very end. The guy, I think we were talking about the guy you have to interrogate in Thane's loyalty mission.
Oh, yeah.
Elias Callahan, I
Callias.
think he was called.
Yeah. Because I know the guy at the end of Mass Effect 1, the druggie, his name's Elias too, but he has a different last name that's a different person, I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah, his attitude would have changed a lot. It's the same person.
Squad member needs help.
Actually, what's the real name of the guy who's called Fade?
Harkin.
Harkin.
I don't know if you ever find out his first name.
Yeah, surely you don't like Harkin, Tim.
Yeah, he's a bit annoying, but I don't mind if I play as female Shepard. You can give us you can tell him to be basically shut up, or he's going to you're going to kick him in the nuts sort of thing. Which I quite like.
What about the Batarian on Omega who poisons you?
No, again, I can't say I actually hate him. I'm like, alright. I suppose if I had to really think about it, it would be someone that gives you one of those tedious side quests, like the Solarian and the Citadel in Mass Effect 1, where you got to go and scan all the keepers. Like, oh, do I really have to?
Well, you don't really have to. I mean, you can very easily complete the game without doing that.
Yeah, but then it's in your log, though, isn't it? It's in your log as an assignment to do.
I still think scanning the keepers is still less annoying than the 18 missions where you have to find, like, the League of One medallions, all the elements, and all those missions do nothing. At least scanning the keepers gets you a bunch of credits and experience.
Very true. Mass Effect 3, I really do hate the finding the banner of the
First Regiment?
Yeah, stuff like that. That annoys me. Mainly because it doesn't really tell you where it is either. It kind of gives you a ballpark kind of area, and that's it.
Well, it's in the Apian Crest. You just have to go scan the Turian planets.
All of them.
If anything, those missions kind of bothered me because in Mass Effect 2 they turned all those missions into like 10-minute things where you could actually go on the planet. And then in Mass Effect 3 they were just fetch quests. There's no exploration, no nothing.
Talking about obscure side quests, has anybody of you ever found the Prothean Sphere?
Yes.
Oh, on Antaram.
I don't know where it is. I just know that it's the sphere with the flashback described on text.
Yeah, that's on Antaram in Mass Effect 1. I'll never forget that because getting to it's the biggest pain in the butt ever because you have to, because we all
it's
know
right on
how
top of a
well
mountain,
the
isn't it?
Mako handles. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to go through so many mountains to get to it, and it's so annoying trying to get out of.
But if you take the little box thing that the Asari consort gives you, that's when you get the little. It's just a text box, isn't it? They really should have put like a little cutscene in there or something. The amount, the nightmare it is to get to. But anyway, that brings us to the end of another week. I want to say a big thank you to Orsar, Hear Your Face, or Takes to Know, should I say, and Cerberus Guy. Thank you very much for playing.
Anytime.
Back again next week if you're around, if you're available.
If the game works.
If your game works, yeah. And thank you everybody in the chat for coming as well. Much appreciated. Perry, thoughts are with you for the weekend. Jumpy Popcorn, thank you very much for coming. I know you're in the background there somewhere.
I don't blame
Gabriel.
you for liking the council, Nico.
Nico, thank you very much. Curtis, as always, every week, thank you very much for coming. And so if you've not subscribed already, make sure you do. Hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the stream, give it a like on the old like button. And I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week.